A beautiful girl, Mira, with a magnificent figure, who just today became an office worker. While taking a bath at home, the girl somehow found herself in a world unfamiliar to her. The main character couldn't understand where she found herself and why she couldn't touch the side of the bathtub, so she immediately felt a feeling of fear. Realizing that the girl had found herself in an alien world, she only thought that she might be the only person who found herself in another world while washing in the bathtub. Mira was in despair. Tears were flowing from her eyes because the only thing left with her was a towel. But this world was completely different from the modern world in which the girl lived. And in this world, there lived beast people, and the man who appeared before the main character was a white tiger. The girl was not ready for such a man to appear. She was embarrassed and puzzled because the tiger wanted to become her partner. But the white tiger was not the only one who wanted to make Mira his. The silver ox also wanted the girl. Python did not lag behind his rivals, so he also offered himself as a partner. And the unfamiliar man from the temple with wings was happy about the girl. He also wanted the main character. From so many fans, Mira could not remain calm. She became overexcited and lost consciousness. Fortunately, there was a hidden system in this world that could help the girl survive. The main character was confused. She was not ready for a new life, but with a system and a reference book, Mira will be able to safely live in this world. Mira, using the reference book and her knowledge, actively works on agriculture and infrastructure to open up peace in this world of beasts. The main character, an ordinary girl of 20, like everyone else, after a hard day at work, wanted to relax in the bath. But the only thing that distinguished her from others was that after taking a bath, she found herself in an unfamiliar world. The girl was confused and scared, and she was also frozen because her butt was completely naked in an unfamiliar world. Usually, when others find themselves in a new world, they develop unusual abilities. But Mira was unlucky. All she got was the towel she was holding in her hands while in the bath. Suddenly, a loud sound was heard from behind the bushes. The girl did not know who the screams belonged to and was very frightened. She imagined the new world to be terrible. All her thoughts were already about death because the screams were loud and scary. The girl was afraid and crying. She decided to lie back in the water, thinking that this would help her return to her world. Immersed completely in the water, Mira prayed to the Lord to allow her to return. Opening her eyes in the water, the girl noticed a pair of legs unfamiliar to her. They were good, strong legs. It was clear that they did not belong to a woman. Raising her eyes a little higher, the girl was shocked because she saw something she shouldn't have. Seeing this, the girl immediately emerged, beginning to choke from lack of air. She was immediately picked up by unfamiliar male hands. They touched her naked body and lifted her up. Mira was very surprised and embarrassed because she was not ready for such an unexpected acquaintance. Strong and muscular arms lifted her above the pond. A man with hair as white as snow held her like a feather. The white tiger, the beast man, Jack, was surprised. He had never seen such a small and beautiful female, so he immediately asked what tribe this beautiful person was from. Mira was scared. She didn't know what the stranger wanted to do with her. She asked to let her go, but she was even more shocked by what she saw under the water. Did it really belong to this unfamiliar man? The girl, embarrassed by her thoughts, tried to get out of the hands of the stranger, but Jack remained calm. He was not going to let go of such a sweet female and did not want to harm her. Mira didn't know what to do and how best to act. No one would believe her because she wasn't even wearing clothes. Jack tried to calm the little female down. He was interested in her, so he told her that he wouldn't hurt her as long as she didn't run away. The girl calmed down. In the man's arms, she asked only one thing, that he would let her go. The white tiger believed the girl and let her go, which the young lady was very surprised by. Without wasting time, she decided to immediately head away, thereby running away from the stranger. But Jack didn't even go in pursuit, because Mira was so slow that it wouldn't be difficult for him to catch up with her. Realizing this, the girl turned around, because she realized that she had no chance of escape, so she began to condemn the man for his inappropriate appearance. Then, standing upright in front of the girl, Jack explained that he was washing. That's why he looked like that. Mira realized that all her accusations were useless, and she had nothing to show him because she also washed herself and was now in the same position as him. The main character needed at least something to cover her bare parts, so she began to look around for the only thing that had moved with her, a towel. Noticing him, the girl immediately grabbed her towel and began to bless God for such luck. Suddenly, the white tiger turned to the girl. He was wondering where the male was, such a small female. Mira did not understand what the man was talking about. She did not yet know that beast people rule in this world. Then Jack explained to the girl that she was a female and he was a male, and they could be partners. The main character was very surprised by this information. She could not imagine that she found herself in such a world. To prove and show what kind of world the young lady found herself in, Jack turned into his true form, into a white tiger. From shock, the girl immediately fainted. She was not ready to see such a huge tiger. Jack, in the guise of a tiger, did not know what to do with the woman and why she was so scared. Having plunged into the water, Mira again began to pray to God for salvation. But at that moment, she only heard a ringing in her ears. This ringing alerted the girl that the world data had been successfully loaded and the system was running. Mira knew nothing about the system or the world. She had to learn all this. When she woke up, the girl found herself on something soft and unfamiliar. But it was pleasant for her to lie there. The white tiger immediately noticed that the girl had woken up because it was on him that she had been resting all this time. Googling her eyes, Mira looked at what she was lying on. She was stunned because all this time she thought that she was sleeping peacefully in bed. Jack was worried about the girl, so as soon as she woke up, he inquired about her well-being. The heroine was cold. She was completely naked, and the wind was cold. The girl was freezing. The tiger noticed that the girl was trembling all over, so he immediately stopped and took on human form. Having turned into a man, Jack picked the girl up in his arms, which made the young lady feel very embarrassed. After this, Jack decided to jump onto a tree and leave the girl there. Having released the girl, he began to take off the rest of his clothes. Mira was not ready for such a sight and did not understand what was happening. The man left Mira with a cloth that he used to cover his body parts and a dagger for protection. After that, he again turned into a white tiger and told the girl to wait for him. Sitting on a tree, Mira watched the tiger. At first, she did not understand what Jack wanted to do, but then she realized that the tiger had gone hunting and his goal was a wild boar. Hidden in the bushes, the tiger was waiting for the perfect moment to attack. As soon as it came, the tiger immediately attacked its prey, leaving no chance of salvation. He grabbed the boar's neck with his mouth and didn't let go. Having finished the hunt, Jack turned into a man and approached the tree where he left the girl, telling her that she could now safely jump. There were 4 meters to the ground. The girl understood that she could not easily jump from the tree without consequences, so she was very afraid. Looking at Mira, Jack realized that she would not be able to go down on her own. He had to take proper care of such a fragile and small female. Therefore, without hesitation, he immediately jumped onto the tree and picked up the female. Having descended from the tree with her in her arms, Mira was covered only with one rag that Jack gave her. Having asked Mira for a knife, the tiger immediately began to cut up the huge carcass of the wild boar. Separating the skin from the flesh, he carefully cleaned it and threw himself on the girl. This was supposed to protect her from the cold. Suddenly, a ringing sound rang in Mira's head again. The system notified her about the trophies she had received and about a new task, which, when completed, she would receive a reward. Jack noticed that the girl was looking somewhere into the distance, so he asked what attracted Mira's attention so much. But the girl did not decide to tell the male about the system, so she simply thanked him for his concern. Jack really liked the girl's responsiveness and gratitude. He wanted to take care of the female and asked her to be patient a little, because as soon as they get to the wolf tribe, he will buy her clothes. Mira did not understand what Jack was talking about and what kind of wolf tribe, so the male immediately explained to the girl that this is the place where wolves live. The tiger also told her that in this place, you can buy clothes and everything you need. The main character was pleasantly surprised because there could be ordinary people in this city. But Jack knew nothing about ordinary people. He had never heard of such people. The girl was upset by this news because it turns out that there are no ordinary people in this world. The male was not very worried about the girl's experiences. He wanted to feed the female as quickly as possible. Mira did not want to eat the raw meat of the boar that was killed before her eyes, so she immediately refused. Realizing that the girl would not eat raw meat, he immediately went in search of other food. 10 minutes later, the white tiger returned with fresh fruits and berries. Mira did not refuse such food, so she immediately began to eat fresh fruits and berries. Jack was amazed, because he thought that Mira was also a beast man, so he could not believe that she only eats fruits and berries. Then he began to think that she was a hare or a deer, but the girl just laughed it off. Mira explained that she doesn't eat raw meat, so she refused Jack's offer. The tiger was pleasantly surprised that such a weak female could cook. He wanted to feed her properly. There was nothing in this world for cooking, so Mira did not know how best to cook meat. First of all, she needed fire. Jack was a little scared that the little female needed such a dangerous fire. Mira didn't see anything so wrong with it. She thought the tiger had never seen it, so she asked if Jack knew what it was. Jack knew what fire was, and that its destructive power frightened the orcs, so he agreed to get fire for the female. The white tiger was already ready to go in search of funds for ignition, but Mira stopped him because she knew that they could make fire by rubbing sticks against each other. The main character sat down on the ground and began to rub the sticks together. This lasted about 5 minutes. For about 30 minutes, she continues her attempts to make fire, but nothing works. But even after 40 minutes, Mira could not get fire in this way, so she got angry and quit this activity. Jack didn't want the little female's hands to get hurt, so he kissed her tender hand and said that he would get her fire. Hugging her, he made it clear that he would get her everything she wanted, because now she was his woman. Mira was not very happy about such news. She was not ready to become someone's woman so unexpectedly. The embarrassed girl pushed the tiger away because she wanted to put up with such impudent words. She couldn't take her eyes off the handsome male, who all this time convinced her that she had nothing to worry about as long as he was next to her. Taking her hand, he licked her fingertips. The embarrassed girl was shocked and could not move. Her heart beat faster and faster. Mira continued to look at the tiger and think that in front of her was such a powerful beast, but at the same time so gentle and caring. The main character's parents died when she was still a child, although she was adopted by her uncle, and since then she has no longer had a home. And then she grew up, lived, and worked alone, so she had long ago become accustomed to a world where no one would protect her. The girl was amazed by such care. No one had ever cared about her as much as Jack, whom she had just met. Jack was very worried about the condition of the fragile female. He felt that the girl needed warmth and care, so he pressed her harder each time. He was so warm, and his hugs were so tender. Mira felt such tenderness for the first time after the death of her parents. But Mira quickly calmed down and came to her senses, pushed Jack away, assuring him that everything was fine. She still could not get away from this tender and warm feeling of care that emanated from the white tiger. Having placed the girl on his back and turned into a tiger, Jack headed to the wolf tribe, because first he wanted to show them the body of a fragile female. The tiger was worried about the girl's well-being, since she had already lost consciousness twice. He was sure that she definitely needed to see a doctor. Mira didn't know how to convince the tiger that everything was okay with her, because she couldn't say that she was losing consciousness from fright. Jack continued to assure the fragile female that she was not in danger with him. She was his woman. The girl was not delighted with such loud statements. She was not yet ready to put up with the fact that she was someone else's. At this moment, Mira suddenly remembered the mission and task of the system, upon completion of which she would receive a reward, so she asked Jack for 2 animal skins. Jack immediately agreed, and having lowered the girl to the ground, then went to hunt. An hour later, he brought the female as many as 5 skins. Having turned into a human, Jack decided to help remove bloodstains from the skins, but Mira was not ready for such a sudden transformation into a human. Looking at Jack, the girl noticed a wound on his hand. The tiger was not worried about such a minor wound. But Mira could not look calmly at the white tiger's wound, so she then went up to Jack and thanked him for the hunt. Jack calmed the female and continued to say that she was his woman, and she did not need to thank him for the hunt. The heroine was amused by this. The large white tiger in human form was more like a cat that liked to rub and cuddle. Having finished caressing, Jack went to separate the skin from the boar's body and remove the bloodstains so that there would be no smell left. Suddenly, when Jack left, Mira received a system notification, which notified the girl that the mission was completed. A voice in her head spoke to the heroine. Now she can get a beginner's set. Having received the set, she immediately opened it, and a bag appeared in her hands. Having opened the bag, Mira found sticks in it. She did not understand what they were needed for and considered it a useless item. But as soon as she took them in her hands, they began to burn. Then the girl realized that this was the source of the fire. She also received an encyclopedia about ancient animals and plants. At this moment, Jack had already finished working on the skins and returned to Mira. Mira didn't want to show off her trophies, so she immediately hid them. Jack noticed that his little female had a little secret, but did not say anything. He was sure that they had plenty of time, and he would slowly and surely unravel all her secrets. After some time, they finally came to the wolf tribe. Every 10 days, the wolf tribe organizes a fair where the beast people living nearby come to exchange their goods for more necessary things. Looking at everything that was happening, Mira was amazed at the beast people because compared to her, they were simply gigantic in stature. Suddenly, someone grabbed her by the hood of her cape and lifted her up. The girl was frightened and very surprised by such force. Jack was the one who unexpectedly picked up Mira. Women in this world were considered jewels, and someone like her could easily get into trouble. Suddenly, Mira heard loud screams. Turning around, she noticed how one female was rejecting the male, and he was tearfully begging her for forgiveness. The main character couldn't believe her eyes. All the males were spinning around one female. Then Jack explained that women are precious, and there are dozens of male wolves surrounding the females. Their status is so high that they are not even allowed to work. But all this frightened Mira, because among such a large number of men, there were probably perverts. Jack reassured the girl and asked her not to worry. He wanted to show her to the doctor to make sure that his woman was healthy. From the tribe of wolves, one young wolf turned his attention to Jack. He knew him as a loner, so he was surprised to see a stranger in his arms. Arriving at the doctor, Jack immediately asked him to examine his partner. Mira looked at the old man without taking her eyes off. For her, he was like Santa Claus. The old man was shocked by Jack's behavior. He immediately rushed to the girl to question her. But the white tiger did not let his woman be offended. He stood up for her and covered her with his large body. The doctor was outraged by this behavior of the tiger. He did not want to harm the young girl. He just wanted to question her. The old man was upset. He felt sorry for his clan and the young wolves, because Jack did not want to share his woman with someone. Mira sat quietly and calmly watched the old man's strange behavior. Having finished the examination, the doctor said his conclusion. The little female's body was healthy, but the bones were too weak, so he took berries from his bag. The girl was pleasantly surprised by such care. She could not easily accept the fruits, but the old man assured her that she could calmly accept these gifts, and he did not want to receive anything in return. Handing over the fruits, the doctor did not miss his chance to talk about the young and gentle wolves of his clan. The tiger did not really like the old man's initial behavior. Mira noticed this, so she did not answer the doctor. The old man was so happy about the little female that he volunteered to personally arrange a safe room for her. Jack immediately grabbed his female and lifted her into his arms, thereby showing that he himself could take care of the safety of his woman. After the couple visited the doctor, they went to get the clothes that Mira needed so much. The heroine examined and felt the clothes. They were made simply, but made of real leather. Mira wasn't happy with the clothes, but it was much better than walking around completely naked. The girl hoped that in this world there were at least needles and threads, because the clothes of the beast people were too big for her. Less than half an hour had passed before she was able to get stone needles and threads with which the girl could hem her clothes. She also remembered that there are pins in her hair that can help her. At this time, Jack was already asking the seller if they had clothes in a smaller size and offered to pay accordingly. The seller was incredibly happy about the buyer's generosity because one such crystal could buy all the clothes in the store. But suddenly, Mira announced that she was ready. Everyone turned around and were ready to look at the girl's new outfit. The little female felt awkward in such a revealing outfit, but she looked great. The males were simply stunned by the beautiful image of the female. They could not take their eyes off. Mira was embarrassed by her image. She thought she looked strange, but Jack reassured her, saying that her image was extremely beautiful, like herself. The embarrassed girl made excuses, because she herself remade the outfit, since initially all the clothes presented to her were too big. Mira was also concerned about the issue of shoes, but the men did not understand what the girl was talking about. The heroine was amazed that in this world all people walk barefoot. She did not understand how the inhabitants did not experience pain when walking. Jack did not take his eyes off the fragile female. Her skin was soft. It is not surprising that she was concerned about the issue of shoes. He wanted to take care of his female, so he immediately asked the seller for threads with needles and an animal skin. Mira received everything she could use to make shoes. She was amazed at the tiger's attentiveness. He always knew what she wanted. Despite the fact that she found herself in an unfamiliar world, she was not afraid next to him. Suddenly, when the couple had already finished shopping, someone addressed the tiger as the White Emperor. The young wolf told Jack that the Dr. Lewis was inviting him and his woman to visit him. The tiger immediately refused the invitation because he knew that in the wolf tribe there were many males and very few females. It was dangerous for his woman here. The male wolves did not take their eyes off the small and fragile female. It was too dangerous. Jack could not allow this to happen. Therefore, picking up the girl in his arms and placing her on his shoulder, he decided to quickly leave the wolf tribe. At this time, a young wolf, Jack's acquaintance Oliver, returned from the hunt. He was immediately informed that a small female had appeared in the tribe, but the male was not interested. Returning to his cave, he heard strange sounds coming closer. The male was stunned by what he saw. While he was hunting, the female was surrounded by others. He could barely contain his anger and could not say anything against it. The female was lying on the bed and was being pleasured by a small group of males. Oliver hated that rotten body of a female that changed hands every time he went hunting. But most of all, he hated the fact that it was his mother. Throwing the game he had just killed on the floor, he rushed away. Oliver hated all women because he believed that they were all the same, lazy and greedy. At this time, Jack and Mira had already left the wolf tribe and decided to stay in a cave nearby. The tiger was getting ready to hunt, so to make it more comfortable for his female to sit, he brought soft grass. He asked Mira to be obedient and stay in the cave, waiting for his return. The big tiger left, and now Mira could calmly experiment with the items she received for completing the task. She managed to get a fire, and since there was some meat left, she decided to cook it. While cooking, the girl began to read an encyclopedia, which contained a lot of information about the conditions of this world. In this world, spiritual beasts descended from ordinary beast people. They are very strong, and the females, on the contrary, are weak, but very rare, so each of them has several partners. Mira was not very happy with this information. She understood that in this world, women have polyandry. Even in the book, the girl found out what the fruits that the doctor gave her were used for. Closing the book, Mira felt an unpleasant smell. She still didn't understand where it came from, so she followed the unpleasant aroma. Having found the source of the unpleasant smell, she realized that all her food had burned. Jack was already returning to the cave and noticed something was burning in it. He was worried because his woman was still inside. Returning to the cave, the tiger found his female doing a strange thing. She was covered in soot. Therefore, worried Jack, in a loud voice, told the little female to leave because there was fire in the cave. Mira tried to calm the male down and explained that she had lit the fire herself to cook food. Jack could not remain calm. He knew that the fire was very dangerous and would burn everything to the ground. Realizing that the tiger would not calm down so easily, Mira immediately decided to let Jack try her cooking. Chewing the cooked meat, the tiger could not believe that food could be so tasty. Mira boasted about her cooking. She did a great job, and now she will feed the male with fried meat. Jack quickly ate all the supplies and immediately began to fry a new batch of meat, no longer fearing fire. He believed that it was too dangerous for Mira to cook on her own because she could get burned. So he decided to take on not only the hunting, but also the cooking. Jack gave the fragile female the most tender and delicious meat. Mira happily ate the prepared food. Mira was so full that she couldn't even move. Now she just wanted to rest. Having turned into a white tiger, Jack immediately lay down next to the girl so that she could rest on him. The heroine was incredibly happy because the fur of the white tiger reminded her of a big, warm blanket. Lying on the tiger, Mira noticed a small wound and began to worry. She wanted to bandage the wound to stop the bleeding, but Jack refused the girl's care because she was important to him, not his condition. Mira did not listen to the white tiger because for her he was already family, so she gave him the fruit and bandaged the wound. Jack was pleasantly surprised by these words. He had never known before that females could be like that. Out of joy and care, the white tiger licked the girl as a sign of gratitude. Night fell and the heroes went to bed. Mira slept soundly on the white tiger, clinging to him. Suddenly, from the pain, the girl woke up. She felt how it became warmer between her legs. Throwing the skin aside, she noticed that her period had come. The girl was in despair. She didn't know what to do because in her world, everything was different. The white tiger woke up from the noise. He sensed something was wrong and wanted to help the fragile female. But the embarrassed Mira only separated from him because on such days, women are very sensitive. Jack was worried, so turning into a man, he approached the heroine and began to wonder what was happening to her. Mira could not stand this. Now she wanted to be left alone because she was embarrassed by what was happening. The tiger could not sit idly by because he could smell the blood coming from the girl's crotch. Confused, Mira explained that bleeding is normal and there is no reason to worry. The white tiger could not calm down because bleeding was a great danger for him. He knew nothing about critical days. He remembered his past and worried that the girl might simply die from loss of blood. So he immediately grabbed her and picked her up, wanting to quickly take her to the doctor. The girl was in a panic. She didn't know how to explain to the tiger that everything was fine with her and that similar things happened to females. At this time, the wounded Oliver was with the doctor and bandaging his wounds. The doctor complained that the young wolf was so often injured during the hunt. Because of him, all the old man's supplies quickly ran out. The old man scolded the wolf because he spends all his energy on hunting and does not care about himself at all. He advised him to find a woman. The embarrassed wolf did not want to listen to the old man because he considered all women the same and hated them. The doctor understood that the young man hated women because of the death of his father. He tried to explain to him that not everyone is like his mother. But the young wolf didn't even listen to the doctor. The mere thought of his mother already irritated him. Therefore, he ended the dialogue and immediately headed towards the door to leave the old man. The doctor did not like the arrogant behavior of the wolf and called him a brat because the old man had not yet completed his treatment. The old man was upset by Oliver because he was the leader of the clan and was not at all interested in reproduction. At this time, Jack, holding Mira in his arms, was approaching the doctor. He was worried about his female. Mira tried all the way to explain to Jack that she was fine, but it was all in vain. He couldn't be stopped. The white tiger was concerned about the condition of his woman. He asked the doctor for help. The girl continued to convince everyone around that everything was fine with her, but no one believed her. Even the doctor did not know about such an interesting fact about women, so he wanted to examine Mira. In order to find out the cause of the bleeding, the doctor began to question the girl and ask what clan she was from. Mira didn't know what to answer, so she simply said that she was human. The old man had never heard of such a clan. He only knew about monkeys, but not about people. Then Mira began to explain that monkeys were her ancestors, and their clan came from them. The doctor did not know what to do best, so he suggested that the girl stay in his house so that he could observe her condition for several days. Jack was not against it, so he immediately agreed. To ease the girl's torment, the old man offered Mira red berries, which tonify the blood. The heroine did not refuse the medications and took them, thanking the doctor. The old man was pleasantly surprised by the behavior of the female. She had a gentle character, and she was not so arrogant. She was not at all like other females. The doctor looked at the girl without looking away. It was clear that he liked her and wanted to introduce her to the leader of the wolf tribe, Oliver. But Jack was hostile and could allow someone else to take possession of his woman. The next day, Mira began to make underwear for herself, since there were enough skins. As soon as she began to sew, every time she pierced the skin with a needle, she pricked herself and cried. Jack could not calmly look at the suffering of his woman. He wanted to help. Therefore, taking the needle and skin from Mira's hands, he began to sew underwear for her. It seemed that the white tiger could do everything. He skillfully held a needle in his hands and his ties looked professional. Having finished his work, the tiger offered to try on his female underwear that he had made. Mira liked the tiger's work. The panties turned out beautiful and she couldn't wait to try them on. Having tried on the new panties, Mira was pleased. The added soft fabric inserts were enough. Now she was confident that she could live life to the fullest and not worry about her period. Jack was embarrassed. He liked the image of his woman so much that he could not say a word. While Mira was spinning in different directions, showing off her new outfit, Jack drew attention to the girl's beautiful ass. The girl was embarrassed by the tiger's gaze, so she immediately covered herself and stepped aside. The heroes quickly calmed down, taking the remaining leather in their hands. Jack offered to make shoes from it. His female's feet were tender. He wanted to take care of her, so he asked permission to measure her foot size. Mira allowed Jack to measure her foot size. When he touched her feet, she experienced unusual sensations. The white tiger, kneeling, closely examined the girl's small foot and estimated how much leather would be needed for the shoes. From such a thorough examination, the girl's leg began to go numb. She already wanted it all to end as soon as possible. Having finished the inspection, Jack immediately went to sew shoes for his woman. Mira's shoes were beautiful. She looked stylish and comfortable. The girl was amazed by such a work of art. The shoes were not only well made, but also thought out. Mira immediately tried on her new shoes and showed them off to Jack. The white tiger could not take his eyes off the fragile female. She was beautiful in every way and looked great. The girl liked the shoes so much that she suggested Jack make them too. But Jack refused the offer, since it would be inconvenient during the transformation. But it didn't stop Mira from imagining a big white tiger in boots. At this time, Oliver was collecting medicinal herbs for the old man. Entering the doctor's house, he noticed someone sneaking around and trying to find something. Mira was simply looking for the ingredients she needed, since the doctor allowed her to stay in the house for a couple of days. Oliver did not know about this and mistook the young female for a thief, so he immediately grabbed her hand. The wolf could not calm down. Anger overwhelmed him. He believed that the rules apply to everyone and women should not be allowed everything. Mira tried to explain to the unfamiliar wolf that she did not steal anything, but was simply looking for her red berries. But the young wolf did not want to believe the shameless female, whom he considered a thief. The girl didn't know what to do in such a situation. The beast in front of her was very strong, so she decided to threaten him, and if he didn't let her go, she would start screaming. Oliver knew that when a female screams, her countless males will definitely come to her aid. The heroine was outraged by the behavior of the wolf. He continued to convince the girl that she was a thief, and even her males would not help her, since the leader of the tribe was standing in front of her. In order for the wolf to let the girl go, she came up with a cunning plan, with the help of which she was able to distract Oliver's attention. As soon as the tribe leader was distracted, the girl immediately attacked him in the lower jaw. The young wolf was stunned by the behavior of the fragile female. He believed that no woman could touch him. Then Mira decided to demonstrate to the leader all her skills and show that she has combat skills. Oliver became furious. This behavior of the female irritated him. He wanted to kill her. Mira saw all the anger in the eyes of the male. She was immediately scared, so she decided not to provoke the wolf further. The frightened girl decided that she could escape from the wolf, who was about to tear her apart. But the leader could not allow this to happen, and immediately grabbed the young lady by the hair, thereby preventing her from escaping. Touching the girl's hair, Oliver was surprised. He had never touched such soft and smooth hair. The young wolf could not contain his feelings. The girl in front of him was so magical and beautiful. He immediately hugged her and felt a sweet aroma. She was not like other females. The young wolf was embarrassed by his behavior. He did not expect such sensitivity from himself. But the girl did not want to be in the arms of an unfamiliar man, so she tried in every possible way to get out. Having got out of the leader's embrace, she immediately moved away. The wolf did not understand what was wrong with him, because something like this had never happened before. Oliver was embarrassed by his actions, so he decided not to dwell on the girl's actions and let her go. Mira was outraged by this behavior of the wolf. She did nothing to allow someone to tell her what to do. Taking the clay pot in her hands, the girl continued to insist that she was right and also threatened the wolf. The wolf did not like this impudent behavior of the female. He wanted to punish her and put her in her place. Suddenly, a healer intervenes in their dispute and stops the angry wolf, who was about to attack the fragile female. The old man scolded the tribe leader like a child because he believed that the young wolf had no right to harm such a beautiful female. The doctor was dissatisfied with this command from Oliver because initially he planned to leave this young and fragile female in the tribe to get to know the leader. Oliver didn't know what to do. He considered the girl a thief and tried to stop her. But the old man did not listen to the excuses of the young and inexperienced wolf, so he immediately kicked him out the door. The doctor apologized to the girl. He did not want the young female to leave the tribe because of the stupid leader. The old man continued to justify Oliver's actions and told how their leader was strong and talented. Mira wasn't angry with the tribe leader. She just didn't like that she was falsely accused of theft. The doctor could not stop looking. He liked the fragile female, who was still so merciful and kind. But the old man was disappointed. His plan could now never come true because Oliver ruined everything. The medicine man could not leave everything as it was, so he continued to praise the leader. But Mira no longer listened to the old man because Jack had returned. As soon as she noticed the white tiger, the girl immediately rushed into his arms. Jack brought Mira's things. The girl thanked the tiger, but most of all she was worried about why he had been gone for so long. The tiger explained that he was late because he was cleaning the skins, as his woman liked to collect them. The girl was shocked by this news. She felt like a monster because she could not say that she needed them for the mission. So Mira decided to tell Jack that she had enough skins and didn't need any more. Jack looked at the little female and realized that she really kept a lot of secrets. And also, the white tiger collected a bouquet of roses for his fragile woman. He didn't know if she would like them, but he did it for her anyway. The girl happily accepted the flowers. She was so happy that her joy knew no bounds. The old man who watched this whole beautiful picture was in despair because his Oliver was not even close to the White Emperor. After everything, the heroes decided to go outside for a walk and get some fresh air. Mira was happy. She was having fun and exploring new territories like a child, and Jack was looking after her. From the bushes, a young leader watched the couple. He was interested in the fragile female. He was amazed that a girl could be so sweet and beautiful. Oliver felt guilty because he had wrongly accused Mira of stealing and also thought that she now hated him. The young wolf picked red berries for her, but did not know whether the girl would accept them from him. Therefore, squeezing the bag of berries, he threw it right in front of the girl. The heroine was frightened by such a sudden drop of the bag. Mira didn't know what was inside, so Jack, taking the bag in his hands, decided to see for himself what was inside. Inside, he found a large number of red berries and assumed that perhaps they were for Mira. The heroine was surprised. She did not expect to receive something like this from someone. Jack offered to eat these berries to Mira, but she refused, since she had already eaten enough medicine and decided that it was better to offer them to the doctor. The white tiger did not argue with the girl and agreed to give these berries to the old man. When they went to the doctor's house, the tiger asked an indecent question that made Mira feel embarrassed. The girl claimed that it takes her 5 days to leave the blood, and now it's only the 2nd, so it's too early to ask such indecent questions. Returning to the doctor's house, the couple immediately gave the old man a bag of medicinal berries. Mira explained that when they went out for a walk, someone threw this bag at her feet. The old man immediately realized that the gift was for a girl, so he immediately decided to give the berries to Mira. Mira did not object, and the old man went about his business. At this time, the young leader was sitting on the mountain and guarding his territory. The doctor immediately realized who those berries came from, so he immediately went to the young leader. Sitting in the bushes, he continued to pester the young wolf because he kept talking about how he hated women. Oliver was embarrassed. He did not want to admit that it was he who collected and gave the girl the berries. But the doctor could not be deceived because the smell of the young leader remained on the bag and berries. The wolf realized that he would not be able to avoid answering, so he began to make excuses and convinced the doctor that he had picked the berries while he was hunting for him. Then the old man decided that since they were still for him, he would take them from the girl. But the young wolf stopped him. The doctor was not going to stop and continued to confuse the leader with his bold statements. But the wolf claimed that this gift was as an apology for the mistake he had made. After these words, the embarrassed Oliver ran away from the old man, which the doctor was not particularly happy about. But still, the old man believed that he had a chance to bring these two together, so he did not lose hope and continued to think through the plan. 5 days later, Mira was finally freed from the heavy burden of all women and felt great. Now they were ready to leave the wolf clan, which the girl was very happy about. But the old man cared so much about his leader that he tried with all his might to keep the young female in the tribe. Therefore, the doctor decided to remind the White Emperor that winter was approaching. Jack knew that winter was still about 2 months away, so it was too early to stop with the tribe. The doctor continued to argue that the White Emperor was wrong, because the climate had changed and winter would come earlier. The stars said so, and the stars cannot be wrong. The white tiger suspected the old man. He could not completely trust him. The bell rang in Mira's head again, alerting her to new tasks in the system. All the heroine's thoughts were about winter. She believed the doctor's words and was worried that the winter would be really cold. Jack also thought about the old man's words, because he himself could cope with the cold winter, but he couldn't cope with a small female. The doctor suggested that the couple stay with the tribe. There was enough food and a place to stay for the night. The white tiger was grateful to the doctor for the offer, because it would be much safer for the little female to spend the winter in the tribe. Mira waited for Jack to announce his decision. At that moment, she looked only at him. Holding the girl close to him, Jack announced his decision. They will leave after the end of winter. The doctor was incredibly happy about this, and even volunteered to help in choosing a place to spend the winter. A ringing sound rang in Mira's head again, which notified her about the mission and conditions. The house should be at least 40 square meters, and it should also have a bed, table, chairs, and cabinets. Going outside, Jack explained to Mira that the wolf tribe was actively preparing for winter. They dug wide passages inside the Rocky Mountain, and these passages are full of caves. Mira compared it to an underground labyrinth. She was not entirely happy with this news, because there was little light in the caves. To prevent the fragile female from getting hurt, Jack hugged her and told her to follow him. The old man said that a couple can choose any place for themselves and dig a cave of any size. The main thing is not to dig in other people's houses. Jack immediately turned into a large white tiger to dig a cave. In tiger form, he began to destroy walls and build a home for his female. Having finished, he invited Mira to look around to find out if a cave of this size would suit her. Mira was pleased with the work done. She also suggested making 2 bedrooms. One would be the master bedroom, and the other would be the bedroom and kitchen. After some time, Jack finished digging the cave, so Mira was already sitting calmly inside and setting up a new home. She only regretted one thing, that there was no sewerage here, because then it would have been possible to make a restroom. The edges of the walls were so smooth, Jack had polished them well. Standing right in front of the big tiger, Mira was happy with the new house. Only the furniture was missing. The girl suggested making the furniture out of wood. Jack immediately agreed and suggested going into the forest. Going into the forest, the heroes collected and processed wood to make furniture from it. Having finished processing the wood, they headed to their home. But when they approached the house, they were very surprised. While they were gone, another cave formed nearby, and now the heroes have neighbors. Mira was shocked when she saw her new neighbor, but Oliver didn't see anything strange about it. Mira returned to the house and was already polishing the furniture. She was outraged by her new neighbor. The young wolf was arrogant and self-confident, and claimed that he had the right to dig a cave where he wanted. This irritated the girl very much. To distract his female from heavy thoughts, Jack attracted her attention and asked her to evaluate the new bed that he had built himself. Mira immediately went to inspect the bed. She really liked the new bed. The girl was happy. She thanked the tiger for his efforts and praised him in every possible way and hugged him. The walls were thin, and Oliver heard everything perfectly. He could not sit still, listening to the female praise the tiger. The wolf pressed his ears to his head so as not to hear anything. He did not understand why he dug a cave next to this female, because he hates women. The embarrassment did not leave his face. He did not understand his own feelings and was confused in them. Suddenly, the wolf heard some rustling from the neighboring cave. He became interested, so he decided to spy on his neighbors. Mira and Jack headed into the forest together for a new batch of boards. Oliver didn't want to just watch, so he immediately headed after them. Jack immediately got hold of the necessary materials for the house and informed his female about it. Mira was pleased with the material. She couldn't be happier because the arrangement of the house was nearing completion. The couple was so happy. They hugged constantly and did not leave each other. All this time, the young leader watched the couple with envy. He liked the female, but he could not admit it. He thought his ears and claws were good too, so he didn't understand why the little female didn't ask him for help. Mira followed on the heels of her tiger and did not lag behind. At that moment, she was happy. There were a lot of boards, so you will have to go back several times to take everything to the cave. The girl offered to stay in the forest to look after the material, but the tiger refused such an offer because he knew that the forest was dangerous. But the heroine did not agree with the tiger because she could not allow someone to steal the material for the furniture. Jack did not argue with the female and took her side, picking her up. Lifting the girl in his arms, he climbed the tree and left the young lady there to watch over the material from a safe place. And the white tiger himself, unlike the animal, went to take all the boards to the cave. Mira was not going to waste time and began to read the encyclopedia. Oliver continued to watch the little female. He did not understand what she was doing, but he was very interested. The young wolf did not take his eyes off the girl. He was worried because the tiger had left her alone in such a dangerous place. She has such a small body, she could easily fall and get hurt. These thoughts did not leave the head of the young leader. Suddenly, a purple mutant spider, which was very dangerous, began to descend towards the girl. Mira, sitting on a tree, noticed a spider and became very frightened, starting to scream. Out of fear, she jerked and lost her balance, thereby starting to fall from the tree. The young wolf was nearby and was watching Mira, so as soon as he noticed that the girl was falling, he immediately rushed to the rescue and caught the young lady. Mira was unhappy that she again met the wolf who falsely accused her in the healer's hut. Oliver held Mira's fragile body and didn't want to let go, but the girl resisted. She didn't want to stay in the wolf's arms. The wolf really liked the smell of the female. He could not help himself and began to sniff her. The heroine escaped from the clutches of the tribal leader and immediately pulled away. She considered him strange. Oliver looked only at the fragile female and suddenly noticed that the purple spider wanted to attack her again. As soon as the male noticed that the female was in danger, he immediately rushed to protect her. The leader of the wolf tribe saved the girl and ordered her to hide, but the girl did not want to listen to him. She was worried not only about her own life. Having told the girl to run away, the leader turned into a wolf and defended himself. In his wolf form, Oliver was much stronger, so he was able to easily deal with the purple spider. Mira looked at the wolf and did not look away. She liked the beautiful silver fur. The girl thanked Oliver for saving her. Her opinion about him changed. But Oliver didn't need words of gratitude. He wanted more for saving a life. He wanted to spend the night with the female. The heroine was embarrassed and outraged by such arrogant behavior of the wolf. She believed that he deliberately continued to humiliate her with such desires. The girl regarded this rescue as payment for unfounded accusations. But the wolf thought otherwise. Since the girl was still in place, it means she wanted to spend the night with him. Mira's indignation knew no bounds. She was furious at such stupid statements from the wolf. The girl couldn't stand it out of anger, so she turned around and walked away from the leader. Oliver was covered in sweat. It was clear that it was hard for him because he was injured by a spider. He never thought that such a miserable death would overtake him. If the tribe members knew about it, they would have laughed at him. Mira was not so cold-blooded and cruel. She noticed that the wolf's condition had changed, so she returned to check on the tribe leader. Oliver didn't understand why the young female returned. Had she really changed her mind? But the girl destroyed the wolf's hopes by saying that she had returned for her thing. At this moment, the heroine drew attention to the condition of the wolf. It was clear that he was feeling bad. The young leader did not want the girl to approach him and worry about him, so he began to push her away in every possible way. Mira was not afraid of the wolf's attacks. She wanted to help him and was serious in her intentions. The wolf did not want to admit that he needed help, so he asked the girl to leave. The heroine, without hesitation, decided to leave in order to return with medicine. Oliver did not believe that the female could help him because he considered them all the same. His father died because of a female. He could not even think that he would repeat the fate of his father. Mira returned to the scent wolf with medicinal herbs. She sincerely wanted to help him and save him. Approaching the male, she noticed that he had lost consciousness from pain. Luckily, the book had entries about purple spiders, so Mira found the right detox medicine. From the pain in the wound, Oliver woke up. He could not believe that he was still alive. Mira noticed that the young wolf opened his eyes, which meant that she was doing everything right. The male could not believe that the little female had returned. It seemed to him that these were all dying hallucinations. After finishing the treatment, Mira began to check the wolf's well-being and show him her fingers. Oliver still didn't believe that this girl had returned to save him. She was completely different, not like the other females. The girl stood right in front of him, like a goddess who saved his life. Now they are definitely even because he just saved her, and she saved him. Oliver modestly and quietly thanked the girl for saving him. He didn't know what else was worth saying such moments. But Mira pretended that she had not heard and asked to repeat the words of gratitude. From this, the embarrassed wolf became furious. He did not want to repeat it again, so this time he insulted the girl. Mira became angry and began to argue with the young leader, claiming that he was a stupid wolf who did not take care of his life. At that moment, Jack came to the girl's screams. He didn't understand what was happening, so he immediately asked what happened. Jack was looking for Mira, so he came not alone, but with a group of other male wolves. Everyone was shocked by what they saw. They knew how dangerous the purple spider was and could not believe that their leader had defeated it. The white tiger hugged his mate and thanked Oliver for saving Mira. Addressing the young leader, he promised that in the future, he would definitely thank him for saving the female. The young leader understood that although the tiger was thanking him, he was hinting that he should not even think about approaching his female. And also the tiger specifically found males who already had females, so they would not be tempted and act outside the rules. The males exchanged glances. They saw each other as competitors. Returning home, Mira was pleased with the work done. It felt cozy and beautiful. The mission was completed, and the system notified the girl about it. Mira's reward was a small pot and a spatula for cooking. The heroine was incredibly happy about this. Now she could cook something tasty. Jack was interested in kitchen utensils. He didn't know what they were made of, so he wasn't sure how to use them correctly. Mira assured that everything was safe, and the kitchen utensils were made of metal, so this time, nothing would burn. She decided to cook something tasty and give it to Jack to try. Jack sat right next to the cooking area and inhaled the delicious aroma of food. Having finished cooking, Mira immediately invited the white tiger to be the first to try her creation. The white tiger was pleased. He had never tried something like this before. Mira also wanted to take food to her neighbor as a sign of gratitude for saving her life. But Jack couldn't let the female get close to the young wolf, so he volunteered to bring him food himself. Arriving at the neighbor, the white tiger immediately called the wolf. He wanted to quickly thank the leader and leave. Opening the door, Oliver was not happy to see the white tiger and showed displeasure with his entire appearance. Jack didn't pay attention to the wolf's impudent behavior and simply handed over the soup. The young wolf was surprised. He had never seen such a dish. Although the wolf was happy with the food, he was not happy that the white tiger brought it to him. Evening came. Mira was happy, she was full, and the day was productive and difficult. Jack was also happy with the day. He thanked his female for the delicious food. Mira couldn't take her eyes off Jack. She thought he was incredibly handsome and admired him. Jack was glad that his female liked him. It was important to him. The heroine was embarrassed by such flirting, so she immediately went to bed. The tiger was not against such an unexpected decision. He immediately agreed. Approaching Mira, he accepted her, and looking her straight in the eyes, offered to sleep together. That night, Jack and Mira slept together. The girl slept with a man for the first time. She did not feel entirely comfortable, but still she was pleased. Lying on her side, the heroine could not fall asleep for a long time. She kept thinking about the conversation with Jack. The white tiger was worried about the safety of the female, so he was thinking about how to make an impregnable fortress out of their home. Jack asked such strange questions, Mira did not know how to perceive them. The white tiger believed that the female did not like his body, or that his smell was unpleasant to her. The girl was put in an awkward position because she liked Jack, but she could not say it directly. Jack gave the girl the choice of sleeping on the right side or on the left. The embarrassed person did not think long about the answer and immediately said that she would sleep on the left side. She was so embarrassed that she thought of escaping from the clutches of the white tiger, but she had no strength. The girl was very tired after such a hard day and was already falling asleep. Suddenly, she felt something strange. The girl could not understand what it was, but something was definitely pressing against her. Nothing was visible in the darkness, so Mira decided to find out what it was and touched it with her hand. From such gentle and unexpected touches, Jack suddenly moaned. Mira couldn't believe that she had touched something sacred. The shock left her sleepless. The embarrassed girl continued to apologize to the tiger. She didn't even think that it could be him. Jack didn't say anything. He just pressed himself against the fragile female because he really wanted her. The white tiger touched the girl's tender skin and licked her neck. From such gentle touches, Mira could not restrain herself. Her voice sounded throughout the entire bedroom. The tiger continued to cuddle up to the girl. He liked to touch the fragile female. Mira could not withstand such pestering from the white tiger and decided to run away from him into the next room. Jack did not want to let the girl go into the next room. He only wanted to be with her. Holding him close, the tiger thought that his female wanted to sleep with the young wolf. He was unhappy with these and continued to ask questions about the wolf. The tiger did not want to share the female with someone. He pressed closer and closer to the girl and licked her neck. The girl was embarrassed. She could not tolerate such gentle touches from the tiger. Her voice was rushing out. At this moment, Jack thought only about his little female. He was so attracted to her that he went crazy. Mira tried to go into another room and said that she was not attracted to the young wolf. The White Emperor did not want to believe the words of the female, since he did not understand why she wanted to save the leader of the wolf tribe. The girl continued to assure the tiger that she did not like Oliver and asked him to stop acting like that. Jack didn't understand what Mira meant. He wanted to please her and give her pleasure. He lowered his hand lower, but this only made the girl more frightened. Tears came to her eyes. It looks like Jack had a strong hold on Mira and didn't want to let her go just like that. She couldn't help but think about indecent things, and it all scared her. At this time, their neighbor, a young wolf, heard everything. He could not stand such indecent sounds. Because of his sensitive ears, he heard everything as well as if he was in the same room with them. Suddenly, the young wolf heard the tiger asking about him. He was very surprised that the white tiger decided to ask such a question to the female. And also, the wolf heard Mira say that she doesn't like Oliver. The leader of the tribe was defeated. He liked the fragile female, although he did not want to admit it. He felt pain in his chest and could not do anything with his feelings. Immersed in thoughts, he continued to sit alone in his cave. Morning came and Mira opened her eyes. When she woke up, she immediately began to remember the night. Her body felt so vibrant, and her skin was changed. She felt the care that the white tiger was surrounding her with. Continuing to remember the previous night, the girl could not help but feel embarrassed, because everything was so open. Jack noticed that his little female had woken up. He immediately inquired about her condition and asked if she was hungry. The soup was already warmed. He brought the bowl straight to her bed, continuing to look after her. Mira was embarrassed. She liked the tiger's care, but she couldn't help but remember last night. The white tiger informed Mira that he would soon go hunting. So as not to leave the female alone, he asked Vanessa from the wolf tribe to keep her company. Mira was very surprised that Jack decided to leave her alone with an unfamiliar wolf. The girl wanted to go hunting with the white tiger. She did not want to be alone with a wolf unfamiliar to her. The white tiger explained to the little female that hunting was too dangerous a place for her. And also he said that soon, together with other males from the wolf tribe, they would go deep into the forest to hunt for about 10 days in order to better prepare for the cold and stock up on food. Mira did not expect Jack to go to such a dangerous place. She was very worried about him. Jack reassured the little female that she didn't have to worry about him and that he would be fine. The heroine understood everything. She knew that going with the tiger would only add unnecessary trouble to him. The white tiger hugged his little female. He didn't want her to be sad, and explained that everything has its time. Mira wanted Jack to return soon, and she also wanted him to return to her safe and sound. Jack asked Vanessa to look after the little female in his absence, but the little female was still upset. She didn't want Jack to leave. The White Emperor reassured his little female. He did not want his baby to be upset, so he was interested in what Mira needed. Then the heroine, picking up the encyclopedia, showed the tiger the herbs she needed to cook meat. Jack quickly realized what Mira needed, so he immediately agreed. He also gave a bone knife to a small female, with the help of which she could defend herself. Having hugged the girl, he whispered in her ear, "Wait for me." Mira was embarrassed, but promised that she would definitely wait for Jack. At that moment, suddenly, Vanessa came into their house. She apologized for preventing the couple from saying goodbye. Vanessa looked beautiful. Her figure was perfect, and her silver ears and tail only emphasized the image of a wolf. Having introduced the girls, Jack once again said goodbye to Mira and went hunting. He wanted to get as much game as possible so that his female could survive this winter calmly. At this time, Mira wanted to take a walk, so she asked Vanessa to let her go out. Vanessa didn't think for a long time about the girl's offer. She immediately grabbed her hand and headed towards the exit. Going outside, Mira saw that all the work was being done by old people or children. All the young males went hunting to feed the tribe. Looking around, Mira did not notice a single female. She was wondering where they all were. Local females did not work at all. They felt like the center of the universe, which embarrassed Mira. The heroine realized that if she ate a lot and was lazy, she would look like the local females, but she didn't want that. Mira continued to ask Vanessa many questions about the household. Vanessa generously answered all her questions, but she also said that while the female is in childbearing age, she should not worry about such trifles. The heroine was shocked by such statements because she was not yet ready for children. The fragile female explained that she was just bored and was thinking about how to help and occupy herself. Then Vanessa made a decision. She would tan the skins together with Mira. Only males did such things, so when they saw him on the other side of the river, they were stunned. Mira carefully cleaned the skin. She did a good job, and Vanessa even praised her for such an excellent job. Vanessa was a good teacher and always suggested how to do better. At this time, the males were closely watching the females. They could not take their eyes off. The males continued to watch the young and beautiful females, drooling. But Oliver noticed the inappropriate behavior of the young males and immediately began to look at them with a terrifying gaze. Out of anger, the leader grabbed the young males by the tails and forced them to experience unprecedented pain. Holding the wolves by the tails, Oliver rushed off with them, away from the females. Vanessa noticed that someone was hiding in the bushes. She saw Oliver among the leaves, and she asked Mira if she knew the leader of the tribe, to which the girl answered positively. Oliver looked only at the fragile female. Vanessa noticed this and told Mira. The heroine does not like the wolf at all. She believed that there was a conflict between them. But the tribe leader was not interested in Mira's violent reaction. He only wanted to know what the girl was doing near the pond. Mira believed that this was none of Oliver's business, so she answered him very rudely. Despite the fact that the girl was rude, her voice seemed so affectionate and gentle to the young leader. His body instantly reacted to the girl's voice. Oliver could not contain his feelings. Vanessa noticed how the leader blushed. She could not believe it with her eyes, because she knew that Oliver hated women. It was difficult for Mira to drag the skin after cleaning. She made every effort, but could not budge it. Oliver noticed that the fragile female was having a hard time, so he volunteered to help, which surprised the girl. Easily picking up the skin and throwing it over his shoulders, Oliver headed forward, leading Mira behind him. At first, Mira was confused. She began to lag behind the young wolf, so she asked him to wait. Walking behind the leader, the girl thought that this guy was not as bad as he seemed. But these thoughts quickly dissipated because Oliver was again rude to the little female. The heroine could not catch up with the wolf. He walked too fast for her, but Oliver claimed that this was due to the fact that the small female had short legs. Vanessa watched everything that was happening. She could not believe what she saw because she had never seen the leader behave like this. In the eyes of the she-wolf, Oliver was strong and powerful, but now he is gentle and sensitive, not at all like his former self. But now, watching him, she considered his actions stupid and illogical. Returning home in the late afternoon, Mira was already getting ready to cook dinner. And then she remembered that when Jack treated his neighbor, the wolf never returned the dishes. Therefore, Mira immediately went to her neighbor to get her thing. Arriving at the neighbor's, the girl was shocked because Oliver met her in the guise of a wolf. Then Mira immediately began to wonder why the leader was in his animal form, but Oliver explained everything by saying that he was sleeping. The heroine decided not to pay attention to this. She came only to return her tureen. But the young wolf did not understand what the girl was talking about. He did not know what a tureen was. After much explanation from the little female, the leader finally understood what the girl meant, so he headed back to the house to return the bowl. Holding the tureen in his teeth, Oliver returned the tureen and also did not forget to insult the little female. The girl did not respond to the wolf's provocations and immediately left, slamming the door. The wolf was sad. This was the only thing from the little female, and he did not want to part with it. At this time, Mira had already finished preparing the vegetable soup and was already starting to eat. She was pleased with the dish. After such a hard day, the soup was especially tasty. The girl remembered the white tiger. She missed him. She wanted Jack to return as soon as possible. Mira didn't even notice how she began to rely on the tiger for everything. Once in this world, the heroine did not live a day without him. She understood that she needed to become more independent so as not to burden the tiger. Resting in his cave and almost falling asleep, the leader smelled the aroma of food. The aroma was so enticing that he immediately stood up and headed towards the source of the smell. There was a bowl of soup in front of his door. He couldn't believe his eyes, because he didn't expect anything from the little female. The wolf looked at the next door and thought only about Mira. He was grateful to her for her care. Without hesitation, the wolf immediately began to taste the delicious soup from the little female. At that moment, he was happy. The days of waiting are always longer, but during these 9 days, Mira has already gotten used to work, and tanning hides has become much easier for her. Sitting near a pond, in the distance, she noticed a small pack of familiar wolves. Perhaps the males had returned from hunting. Jack returned. Mira immediately noticed him among the wolves and began to scream. Jumping near the river with happiness, she attracted the attention of the tiger. Jack was able to see his little female. Having met, the girl immediately rushed to hug the tiger. She was so bored and waiting that she could not hold back her tears of joy. Jack also brought Mira the herbs everyone needed to make her cooking even more wonderful. While sorting out the ingredients, the girl happily explained what was needed for what and what taste it gave. She decided not to delay the analysis of herbs and immediately took up the kitchen utensils to prepare something tasty. The girl cooked for the white tiger with care and love, adding the collected herbs to the dish. The tiger felt a wonderful aroma. Drool was already flowing down his mouth. He wanted to taste the dish. Having finished cooking, Mira poured the soup into bowls and invited Jack to the table. Handing over the tureen, the girl talked about how she had lived all these 10 days without a tiger. As a thank you for the help, Mira asked Jack to treat her neighbor and carry the tureen. But Oliver got ahead of the White Emperor and came to their house without an invitation. The young leader did not expect to see Jack in the female's house and was not puzzled. Jack was confident in himself because he believed that this was his female, so he quickly put the wolf in his place. Oliver was dissatisfied with such an impudent command of the tiger. He did not want to see him next to the female. Therefore, he quickly took the bowl and left. In parting, Jack told the young wolf that they would live this winter in the tribe and leave. He also warned the wolf not to dare flirt with his female. Oliver believed that he could do whatever he wanted, so he didn't even listen to the tiger. At this time, Mira was sitting at the table and waiting for Jack to return. Suddenly, the system bell rang in her head again, notifying her of the launch of the second mission. The second mission was to gather enough food before winter came. The girl was confused. She did not understand how much food needed to be collected for the system to count the mission. Mira was annoyed by the system, which did not provide specifics and tasks. Then the girl began to ask Jack about how much food they needed to survive the winter calmly. Jack was calm and reasonable. He was not afraid of such questions because he was confident in himself. To reassure his female, he approached her and, looking straight into her eyes, said that he would get her as much food as she asked. Mira could not take her eyes off the beautiful white tiger. His pectoral muscles beckoned her. Noticing that the female had calmed down, Jack suggested that after washing the dishes, they could relax together. But the girl was not yet ready to relax together, so she immediately went to bed. Jack was upset. All these days he had been missing his little female, and now she was avoiding him. He could not leave everything as it was, so approaching the girl, he began to touch her tender body. Mira was outraged by the tiger's behavior. She was afraid of him. The White Emperor did not care about the little female's indignation. He only hugged her to himself, because all this time he had missed her greatly. Mira calmed down and reciprocated. She also really missed the white tiger. The embarrassed couple continued to hug and cling to each other. At some point, Jack began to gently kiss the little female. Mira did not shy away from the kisses, but did not respond to them either. The young leader heard everything. He could not contain his anger, because he believed that the tiger was doing this on purpose to annoy him. A new day has arrived. Jack is getting ready to hunt again and says goodbye to Mira. The embarrassed girl accompanied her male on a long journey and wished him good luck on the hunt. At that moment, they met a neighbor, from whom it was clear that he had not gotten enough sleep. Mira realized that the young leader had heard everything, and the realization made her blush even more. The girl blamed the tiger for the fact that the neighbor heard everything. She could not contain her anger and continued to blame Jack. Then the tiger decided that Mira would tolerate his pestering next time and would not scream so much. The little female was embarrassed by such words, but could not say anything against it. While the girl was thinking about the answer, Jack turned into a tiger and rushed off to hunt. Over the next few days, Jack hunted a lot and brought more and more game. Everyone was amazed at the amount of what he got. Vanessa was jealous of Mira because the tiger produced more than her entire family, and the she-wolf had 5 males. The heroine was shocked by this news. She did not know that Vanessa had as many as 5 males. The she-wolf continued to brag about her males because they were the best, but Jack was the best in the wolf tribe. But Mira did not consider herself the white tiger's partner, which surprised the she-wolf. Vanessa knew that Mira slept in the same bed with the tiger and did not understand why the girl did not consider him her partner. Mira was confused. She did not know how to explain her relationship with the white tiger. Despite the fact that they slept and ate together, and she even allowed him to behave inappropriately, the girl did not dare to take the last step. Then Mira decided to tell Vanessa that she and Jack were just family, but the she-wolf believed that her partner was also a family, so she insisted that Mira and the tiger were still partners. The heroine continued to justify herself and deny the words of the she-wolf because she was not ready to look for a partner in such a world. Vanessa liked Jack so much that she was ready to accept him as a 6th partner, so the she-wolf continued to sort out the couple's relationship. But Mira could not calmly refuse the white tiger. The embarrassed girl argued that Jack could not become someone's partner. Vanessa did not accept such an answer from the girl, because since she did not like the tiger, she could give it to another female. Then Mira could not stand it, and still said that she liked the White Emperor, and she could not give him to someone. Vanessa realized that Mira still liked the tiger, and she became more and more interested in their relationship. At that moment, the heroine noticed a familiar silhouette. She did not expect Jack to return so soon from the hunt. Mira was worried that the white tiger could hear their conversation with Vanessa. Thoughts about this did not leave her. The realization that Jack could hear everything that was said made Mira blush. The white tiger said nothing. He just picked up his little female and thanked the wolf for looking after Mira. As a sign of gratitude, Jack collected a small bag of fragrant berries during the hunt and gave them to the she-wolf. Vanessa was glad to receive such a gift, so she immediately accepted it. Having taken the gift, the she-wolf said goodbye to the couple and decided to leave them alone, because they had a serious conversation ahead of them. Mira, sitting in Jack's arms, did not know what to say. She was embarrassed by her unexpected confession. In this state, the girl only asked why the tiger returned so early. But Jack explained that he returned so early because he was very bored, and fortunately he heard the confession of the little female. Mira pretended that she did not understand what words Jack was talking about and tried to move the conversation in a different direction. The The white tiger continued to insist on his own. He was glad to know what the little female liked. The embarrassed girl denied everything and said that Jack misunderstood her. But the White Emperor heard everything, so it was useless to deny the words he heard. To make sure of what he had heard once again, Jack directly asked Mira if she liked him. Mira was embarrassed. She could not answer directly, but she understood that Jack was waiting for her answer. Therefore, she decided to answer neutrally and said only that she did not dislike the tiger. But the White Emperor was not satisfied with such an answer. He wanted to understand whether the female liked him or not. To calm his feelings and let the female decide, Jack began to kiss her. Mira was shocked by such unexpected actions of the male and immediately stopped him. Jack was so happy to know that the little female liked him that he couldn't contain his feelings. The white tiger did not understand why Mira stopped him. He assumed that perhaps the female did not like kisses. But Mira was embarrassed. She was afraid that someone might see them, so she stopped the tiger. There was no one around. Mira was puzzled by this because she could not justify her actions. So she decided to say that next time before kissing, the tiger needs to ask permission to do so. After these words, the girl rushed off to clean the loot in order to distract herself and calm down. All this time, the heroine was thinking only about the tiger. The kiss made her heart beat faster. She could not understand her feelings. Mira could not come to terms with her feelings because she only needed to think about how to survive in this world. Returning to the house, the heroine began to prepare for the winter. She carefully dried and sorted everything. Half a month of preparation and the supplies were ready. The system bell rang again in her head, notifying her that the task had been completed, and now she could receive a reward. Suddenly, the heroine had pads in her hands, and this was her reward. The girl was incredibly happy, because this was exactly what she lacked in this world. Hearing the girl's joyful cries, Jack immediately appeared and asked what had happened. Jack compared Mira to a small and cute, very diligent animal. Every day, the weather became colder, winter was close, and the beast people went out hunting less and less. But with such reserves of pairs, it was much easier for them to endure bad weather. Wrapped in the skin, Mira was still cold and sneezed often. It seemed that he could easily catch a cold. Jack noticed that the little female was cold, so he offered to warm her with his body. Mira understood that Jack would easily warm her because he was a big white tiger, so she timidly sat on his lap and snuggled. It was clear that the girl was not entirely comfortable. She wanted to snuggle up to Jack's soft and warm fur. The tiger noticed that the girl was embarrassed, but did not transform. He continued to warm her with his human body. With the onset of winter, other beastmen came to the wolf tribe. When Mira woke up, she didn't understand what was happening and why Jack wasn't at home. The white tiger left to get water. When he returned, he told the girl that a clan of wolves from the Black River had come to the tribe. While washing, the heroine asked the tiger about the wolves from the Black River, since she did not know what kind of clan they were. Jack told the girl about different tribes and clans, and also stroked her silky and soft hair. Mira was interested in why the wolves from the Black River came to the tribe. Then the tiger explained that the leader of the Black Wolf clan was Oliver's brother, and initially they were only supposed to meet. It all looked strange and made Jack think, but the male decided not to torment himself with empty thoughts and offered to eat. At the dinner table, the tiger continued to tell Mira about the news and also announced that her leather bag was ready. Mira was happy with the new bag. She was already thinking about how best to use it and what to put in it. Suddenly, during the meal, strangers burst into their house and began to drive the couple out. The males said that their female liked this house, so they decided to drive out the owners of the house and appropriate it for themselves. Mira was very scared. The beast people looked aggressive. She assumed that they were from the Black River clan.